Welcome to the Go Pitch Win podcast, the show where entrepreneurs pitch their best business ideas to our industry leaders. Each week, one will move forward towards the grand prize, $10,000. One winner. So get ready. And now, here's your host, Greg Mercer.
Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of Go Pitch Win. I'm your host, Greg Mercer, and today I am joined by guest judge Scott Volker. Scott is the founder and host of the Amazing Seller podcast, a top-ranked business show where he helps regular, everyday people start selling products that make money on Amazon, as well as their own e-commerce store. Scott has built and helped others build 6- and 7-figure brands selling physical products and has now taught and inspired thousands of new entrepreneurs through his Take Action approach. Scott, what is up, my man?
What's going on, Greg? This is going to be fun. I am really excited to be here and can't wait to get started. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
I am really happy to have you on as a guest judge, and both of us are excited to hear more about David and his brand CoolNES. David, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Of course. Let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump in to you and your pitch. You want to start off by telling us a little bit more about yourself and then about CoolNES.
It's time for today's business idea.
Yeah, so basically I'm an ex-tennis coach, tennis player. Moved to the States 6 years ago. Many years ago, I did my tennis college career here in Mississippi. And spending so many hours under the sun down here in Florida, I used to get burnt a lot. And I used to wear these caps with flaps on the back of my head. So I thought, what can I create that I can remove the flap part onto all my baseball caps? And that's how a CoolNES was born. So I'm going to explain a little bit. CoolNES is cool neck ear strap. And the way it works, it has two functions. The first function, by the way, this is one of the new designs which we sent to Amazon yesterday. We have 5 different colors. So the first function is the face mask. Obviously, I always wear the product with my cap. So you can use it like this, whether you're skiing or out in the sun or riding your motorbike. And the second utility for the product is a neck flap. So as you can see, I have full sun protection. When I was teaching, I only used to wear it as a neck flap. And it's a very simple concept. The product it's 2 pieces. The bands come in 10 different colors. It's 100% silicone, and it comes in a little pack like that. And the flap and the band come in 5 different colors, a little packet like this. And in the shops, in the retail, we sell the product with this display. There's an LCD that explains the product and the uses. And basically, we have, thanks to you guys, thanks to Jungle Scout, to Greg, for being such an amazing inspiration. And I'm so nervous right now because it's like a little dream for me, to be speaking to both of you. Scott, I just watched your video with your father, and that was very touching because I think at the end of the day, the whole reason I created all this was a very similar story to yours, I think the whole reason I want to create this financial freedom is to have time and to be able to spend time with my family and hopefully one day have a child and to share, those moments that you've been sharing with your father. So thanks to Greg, he's been my mentor. And I've never really had a mentor, obviously. My father is a cook. I love him to death, and he's a very humble, nice guy. But I never really had anybody to guide me. And since I started watching Greg speak, and I've been following all his steps. And I'm not saying I'm super successful. I think I'm going to be. But I think I'm on the right path, and I have a great product. And I'm selling now in all Amazon marketplaces. We're launching in Japan and Australia. We're currently in Canada, US, in Europe on all the platforms, brand registered. So I have all the benefits. I have the Amazon marketing services. I have the enhanced brand details page with the video playing. That video actually is played on the retail displays. We've done around $50,000 in sales since I started, which was late August. Unfortunately, when I launched the retail side of the business. It was the week before the Hurricane Irma arrived to Florida. I made a couple of $1,000 sales. I approached a few shops, great feedback, but 2 or 3 months, the whole Florida, the whole state was closed down due to the hurricane. So I really focused on Amazon. And, it's very interesting what Greg says on his videos, that you don't have to invent a new product. And he's totally right. I mean, if I had to go back, it's been a huge struggle to raise the money that I've put together to invest in this idea. And it was my dream, creating my brand and my product. But I think the platform that he has created, to implement high demand products is really anybody can do it. And that's what I've started to do. So I know not only sell this product, which obviously people aren't looking for it because it's new. So I'm using other products to create exposure. And we have 8 SKUs. Another 5 SKUs have been sent to Amazon. So yeah, things are going really well, and very excited, obviously.
Love all your branding. It looks fantastic. So you said you've done about 50K in sales. Or I guess let's start with, what's your most popular product? I'm on your website right now, so you have a number of different products. Is it that product that you just demoed to us?
Yes. I mean, that's the one I have the most margin. So from those 50,000, let's say 40,000 has been Amazon, and a little bit more than 11,000 has been retail. What's costing money is obviously putting the product in front of the consumer. So this whole digital marketing strategy for me has been, hasn't been easy, because there is a demand for similar products, which are like a neck scarf, which the benefit of my product is that it doesn't create, you're not hot, and it only protects either your neck or the front of your face, and it flaps. So it's an amazing product because it's a mesh fabric, breathes, but it does have UPF 50+. And the products that are out there, everybody complains about the fabric and they're super hot. So once somebody buys the product, they're very happy with it.
So it sounds like the majority of it's on Amazon. Do you have a fair bit of sales through your e-commerce site too, CoolNES.com, or not really?
Not really, not at all.
Okay.
What I've been doing is using AMS, the product display ads. I'm creating a strategy right now where, I'm targeting competitors, and I'm targeting a specific buyers that buying similar products. So the AMS has been helping a lot with display products.
Cool. And give us a little insight about how you went about getting retailers to carry this product for you. Was it just literally going door to door, knocking on small shops in Southern Florida, asking them to carry it, or give us a little more insight about that?
I have to be honest with you. The retail has been going door to door, and I'm in about 30 shops. One big shop has 8 of them, but I think we all know that retail is struggling a lot, thanks to our friend Amazon. Everybody buys online, which is great. I'm all for Amazon. But you remember, I think you've spoken about this before. Somebody that goes on Amazon is going to buy something. I've had meetings with digital marketing companies that they want me to spend a fortune on sending traffic to my website. And supposedly they say it takes between 6 to 15 remarketing strategies to actually make a person buy. By the time I've done that, I spent a fortune. So I need to invest my time and money into Amazon and the marketing tools that they provide you. That's why I'm here today, guys, trying to raise that $10,000. That's the goal. But retail, obviously I get exposure. What I've mainly done is promotional items, which means positioning a logo on the product. I sponsored big events, triathlons. I just got back from Dominican Republic. I sponsored the PGA Tour event. I gave 2,000 flaps out, and it was incredible. That's when my dream came true, actually, guys. So you're the first to know. One of the pros that's won 8 PGA titles wore the product. And I got him on TV and stuff, and all the caddies were wanting it. All the volunteers were wearing it. So the PGA was a great success. Yesterday, I was in the Miami Tennis Open, and the 8th ranked player in the world, his coach was wearing it on ESPN. So I'm going to be posting that on Instagram as well.
Dang. Very cool.
Product you can be using for fishing, hunting, tennis, golf, any outdoor, even skiing. A lot of bike riders wear it, you know. So it's just it's a head accessory that, you know, you just need to have in your pocket, and you can remove it. Because obviously when I used to wear the hats with the flap, you look pretty stupid when I used to walk into the clubhouse after teaching tennis. So the great thing is I can remove the flap and put it in my pocket. So yeah, I think the problem is it takes time. Anything that's new, people are a little bit scared about it. And like I said, you know, I've got 2 more SKUs now, which are this one. This is the product, the reflex boxing ball, and I have a bag, transparent bag. And it's amazing how Jungle Scout, you know, the theory is correct. You know, when there's a high demand in the product and you do the right marketing and you have the right words, keywords, you make sales. And obviously when I'm selling, I don't know, 200 or 300 bags a month, guess what else they see? They see my neck face mask. So that's probably the best marketing I can do, which is creating new products under my brand. So I create a traffic around the real product that I want to sell, my dream product.
Yeah, I was just checking out your website right now. I was checking out your Amazon listing. It looks like the neck strap's doing well on Amazon. I see it's selling like what, 400 or 500 a month. It has good reviews, 4.5 stars, 57 reviews. Looks like people are saying like really nice things about it.
I created it was because my father has really bad skin cancer. And, you know, that's the whole purpose. I spend so many hours in the sun and I really want to protect my skin. So, you know, that's why I'm trying to get into the US Open, big events, you know, where people are aware how dangerous the sun is. So that's the goal. I've already spoken to a lot of big brands. I've had over, I don't know, 8 meetings with the president of one of the biggest sport brands that they have a bunch of licenses. And what I'm trying to do is license my product out to different sports. So for golf, a certain brand, tennis, another brand. So that's the retail side of it. But I believe it's all going digital. I wish I was more knowledgeable in the digital side like you guys are. And I'm sure that I've actually just hired a really good guy, and I've trained him, and he's obviously I bought him Jungle Scout, and we're going through the whole process, and I've blown him away. Imagine a guy that's done digital marketing for years and had no idea of, you know, the whole Amazon business and Jungle Scout and how, you know, how high demand products are out there. And he's like, wow, Dave, this is amazing. So I'm paying him to train him. It's something that's taken me 3 years, thanks to you. So, you know, it's all good. I'm really happy to help him, and he's helping me because the whole, you know, the sponsored ads and the keywords. I'm not a digital guy. I understand, but I'm a guy that needs to go out there and sell and promote the product, and hopefully the snowball effect will all go. You know, when I think about it, if somebody's looking for a product, where do they go? Do they go to Google? I think it's completely changed. I think everybody I ask, over 60% of people go straight to Amazon. So why would I be spending money on advertising on Google when I should be investing at Amazon?
Scott, I have about 20 more questions I'd love to ask David, but why don't you go ahead and take 1 or 2 before I just steal the show?
No. Yeah, there's a lot I have got written here too. First off, how much have you invested and what are your margins?
I was teaching tennis. I was doing Uber driving. I've done everything you can imagine to be where I am today. So I needed X amount of money. I got my real estate license. A year ago, I was teaching a huge developer here in Miami, and he shook my hand and said to me, if you sell me this, I'll give you commission. He gave me a $100,000 check as a commission for a sale I made. I'm a little bit crazy, you know, but all my family, everybody says I'm crazy, but I suppose they are. What did I do with that money? I made 50,000 neck face masks. So I have about 35,000 pieces in inventory in China, in my warehouses. And they cost me around, you want me to tell you what the price?
Yeah, if you could.
Is around $1.80.
Okay.
here, all including.
That landed?
The reason the reason I made so many of them was because 3 years ago when I went to Shark Tank, I showed them the prototype. You know, I bought the textile in Colombia. I went to Colombia. I brought them here to Miami. I made them. They weren't perfect. I sold them on Amazon. That's why you'll see I have some reviews from 2015, which are bad reviews, because I wanted to create a new account with Amazon. And that's why you guys, everything you do on Amazon, do it yourself. Like Greg says, a lot of the people on Amazon, you know, everybody's great, lovely, but I feel I know more than the actual workers in Amazon today. Mm-hmm. So they made a huge mistake, 2 massive mistakes for me. They transferred all my reviews onto my new account. Mm-hmm. And then the second big mistake, remember I'm doing, let's say 50,000 of these bags. I remember Greg, he explains to us, you know, to put the label directly on the packaging so you don't have to pay the 20 cents or all the work. They did the wrong label. So I have 50,000 bags with the wrong, you know, it's a lot of things which I've learned, and I'm really happy to have gone through all these things because, you know, that's where I am today. You know, learning from your mistakes.
So you invested $100K just in inventory. How about, I mean, like your website looks good, your Amazon listing looks good. It sounds like you're doing a bunch of sponsorships at these different big events. Like, so you're probably over $100K in this, right?
Well, no, everything I do is always with a win-win situation. Like with the sponsoring of the event, I give them product in exchange of having a booth, being part of the event.
Nice. Okay. So it doesn't cost you any cash then to like sponsor those. You're just saying, hey, I'll give out 2,000 CoolNES.
Yeah, that's how it works right now. Right now, I've got into Japan. I have one of the largest distributors there for golf equipment. They're ordering 150 of those bundles. I'm also in Dubai. Dubai have ordered. So retail, right now, retail is the way for me to get exposure. So when people go into the shop, on my display, I have Amazon on the side. So obviously when they go into the shop and they leave, what do? Everybody goes to Amazon. Mm-hmm. So it's all about, you know, the social media. And like I said, I'm in Spain, France, Italy, Germany. I sell on all those marketplaces, and Japan's going to be big, and Australia as well. It's just going to take time.
I've got a quick question. It sounds like you're doing a lot of different things, which I commend you on. But then I would say let's go 80-20 here, and let's figure out what one that you're working on, and what channel, what thing. I know you're doing retail, you're doing, you know, Amazon and all the different platforms, and you've got a couple other SKUs going on now. Like, what is your vision moving forward to really focus on? Is it the golfer? Is it the tennis player? I know you've got a whole bunch, but like, what is that thing? That's what I see that I'm not seeing clearly, I guess, right now.
A very good question. The product can be used for all these sports: tennis players, golf, fishing. It's funny, when I go into tennis, they tell me, oh, it's great for golf. When I go into golf, oh, this is great for fishing. So it's a, as you can see, my brand has no logo, right? So it's just the name. Like I said, I'm wanting to license out. I have the patent probably arriving in June, and I'm wanting to specifically, I don't want to give a brand name, but for golf, I'd like this to be branded X. For tennis, this. Fishing, you guys know the fishing big brands that are out there. And I'm in discussion with all these guys. But obviously, I would like to stick with CoolNES, and I would like you're saying, focus on building a brand. I think the future for Amazon is a person like myself that wants to create their own brand. I want to make more products. I want to follow the Jungle Scout methodology of high demand products, and I want to improve those products, because there is a lot of products out there, but they need to be tweaked. Yes, they need to be improved, and they need to be a better quality, and you can do that. So why not have, 50 products under CoolNES, and at the same time, this will eventually grow with those other products, because it seems to be when somebody buys my bag or my boxing reflex ball, they also buy the neck face mask. So honestly, it is Amazon. It is creating more products. It is just replicating the system that Greg's put in place. It's not that complicated. I've got, like you said, I've got too much going on, and it's I'm by myself, by the way. I got to admit, I hope I'm going to be successful one day, but I wouldn't repeat this again in my life. that's how, if I had to go back and I would have seen Greg before on his YouTube things, I would have done, I'm not regretting it. I'm in love with my product and my business and everything, but there was an easier route to do this. You understand? You guys don't need to invent something. Yes, I went to Shark Tank 3 years ago. I went again a couple of months ago to Las Vegas. The whole big dream of inventing something and, making all this huge money. Yeah, it all sounds great. But if you do things simple and you listen, like your father was saying in the video, if you listen and you just follow the steps, I'm not a smart guy. I'm just hungry because I want that life. I don't want the glamour. I just want time. Mm-hmm. So it's hard work. It's I made myself I put myself in this situation. So your question is very good. Do I do retail? Do I do Amazon? What sports do I focus on? It's something that right now it's I'm trying to go with the energy. And here I am today speaking to you guys, which is a huge dream for me,
David, I love the hunger and the passion. It really shows through, and I enjoy that. 2 questions for you real quick. Tell us a little bit about the patent. Is this a design or utility patent? And then I also want to hear more about your Shark Tank experience twice over. Give us a little insight of what that was like.
Yeah, it's a design patent. Basically, the design is going to be the actual system where the band clips onto the flap. And it's those 2 components, because obviously it's the way I designed it. It's very comfortable and specific for the hat. And Shark Tank is quite amazing. The first time I went, I turned up there and they basically told me that I had to be more wow. And it was upsetting. I still got my wristband on, by the way, so I'm hoping that brings me some luck. So the second time I turned up there with this huge flag on the back of my bag, and I had my display unit. I was the first one. I slept in the garage. I turned up there, was the first one to present. And this time I nailed it, I know I've got a good product. I know people are buying it. I'm confident about it. And it went great. And that's all I can say.
Okay, cool. So after that, they have you sworn to secrecy. But I guess this is just out of curiosity. This, I guess, doesn't relate to your pitch. But I guess, do they have like 500 contestants or whatever, and then like a dozen of those people actually make it on the show? Is that essentially how it works?
40,000 people apply, and they say about 180, 200 of them get to go onto the TV. And then they say that even if you go on TV, if you don't sell and you're not a sellable person and it's not funny or whatever, like for people to stick on the channel and watch it, they may cut you out of the program as well. So it's very hard. You can't, so that's another little dream. You can't depend on those things. You just got to keep working and keep going to shops and networking and learning the Amazon, because Amazon is everything. Amazon's the future. I know where my product can be and where it's going to go. I wish I just had your brains and Scott's brain, because I have the vision. I just need that IT side of things, because I've got a new product. People aren't looking for that product. It's not, let's say I've made it a demandable product, but it's cost me a lot of time and money. So I think the best way is to create more products under my brand. And that's what I created those 2, the bag and the boxing. I did that following your steps, and that's working. I just need to do a bunch more.
I just want to just say one thing. I think you're 100% right. You created something that you've seen that there was a need for, in the same breath. People aren't necessarily searching. So you're trying to get in front of traffic that is searching for something else that could also lend itself to yours. And that's a tough thing to do. And it's kind of the opposite of what we generally say, because like you said, you're inventing something or you're creating something, which I commend you for. I think it's awesome. And I think it's a great product. The one thing I was thinking though, Greg, is, and that I would say to David is, like you mentioned cancer for a second. I don't ever want to play on the cancer thing. I've had people in my life that have passed because, due to cancer and stuff, but it is something that does aid in that. So I'm not saying you have to bring awareness that your thing is going to necessarily be that driver, but I think invoking some of that in there to, even if you gave a donation or something to a charity. I see a lot of times, if you ever watch The Prophet with Market Lemonis, like Flex Watches is a great one to watch. that one there, they did a great job at tying in a cause that meant something to them. And then that was part of the brand. So again, the awareness thing is like, you're in the sun, this, and this. Get out of the sun because, you know, you've got a father that had cancer. I've had people in my life, you know what I mean? Like, you can just weave that story. So I'm not saying don't play on that, but I'm saying if it's part of your story, share it. And also, it might be a good idea to throw some type of charity cause in here because I think it can help. I mean, I know myself, my wife's always yelling at me to put more sunscreen on my neck.
It's funny you say that because on our packaging, we do clearly put, we support the fight against skin cancer. And my distributor in Latin America, which are based in Dominican Republic, and that's how we got through to the PGA. She's really working with this and with kids, and basically it's educating the youth that, the skin cancer damage is caused at an early stage. So we are doing a foundation, and we are involved with that, which is a great, obviously, it's very, very important.
So David, you're working on this. Is this like your full-time job right now? Do you have other things that help you pay the bills, or give me a little more insight there?
6 months ago, like I said, I was doing everything. And that check that I got, thanks to the real estate, that gave me a huge breathe time. But then 6 months ago, I actually got even sick. I went to the hospital. I got really bad headaches and stuff because it was, it's very, working with China. Remember, it's not like you said, you go to Alibaba and you make the bags and you brand it and you improve the product. This is a completely different ball game. I mean, I have 5 factories. It's taken me a long time to make these things. The bags I make somewhere else. The silicone corners I make in a different factory. So the whole work effort behind it is insane. So 6 months ago, I met somebody and I pitched them my business. And it's funny, it's the first person and the only person that I felt they looked at me and they saw my vision. So I raised X amount of money for X percent of my company. And the way I pitched it was that I needed a year's time. I need 1 year to be able to focus 100% on this. I can't be teaching tennis and doing all these other things. So I've been very fortunate. She's actually my girlfriend. So I have a year to give 110%. And it's working, it's going great. What I see is that the money that we're making, I'm reinvesting it back into the digital marketing. So all these deals I'm doing with distributors in different countries, I need to make that cash and put it back into the Amazon platforms. That's the goal, because I know where this is going. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
So you're working on this full time. I guess you did mention you had hired someone or getting help from like one other person. Is that right?
Very smart. Basically, we've created structure. Now we've sourced a system which is going to help, and we've proven the system works through AMS, through the display ads. And now we've got to go aggressive on that. And that's obviously another, I've got 2 options. Either if I was to win this $10,000, it would be either to invest into this new strategy that we have, which is proven correct. That ACOS is super low, right? But I need to go very aggressive on the investment. Or I would use the $10,000 to create more products, because creating more products at high demand creates more traffic. So that's traffic to this invention that I created. So that's why I'm so happy to speak to you guys. I wish we could spend hours talking, and you guys could give all your feedback and help me out here. But I understand that that's not possible.
I love where you're at. My only, I guess, question, and again, you kind of answered it, but it's kind of a split, is kind of like, where would you take that 10,000 and what would you do with it? I would have probably liked to have heard The first one is where you're going to take that and you're going to really double down on what you currently have versus trying to go on. I think launching other product is good, but it's still going to take work to get those going. And I'd rather see energy put into that. So that's my only thing, Greg, is I just I see that you are like all of us, right? We're scattered. We have a whole bunch of things we want to do. I think the vision for me is a thing. And I think that you just need to kind of double down on what you're doing now. But as far as questions go, I think that I've got everything answered on my end.
What was your background prior to this? I mean, you know, you had to figure out how to get a patent, how to deal with Chinese suppliers, you know, get inside retail, all this type of stuff. I mean, are you just that much of just a hustler to figure this all out on yourself, all alone, or were you doing some of these types of things, you know, in a prior life?
Never. My dream was to become a professional tennis player. You know, we're all born with some sort of ability, and you know, my father, spending 35 years in a kitchen, just told me, whatever you're going to do, give 100%. He never watched me play tennis. He never had time. Very similar, you know, to Scott. He, like I said, he's a lovely guy, but I never had any mentoring. So I've been out there in every step and made 100 mistakes. But until the age of 17 or 18, I got a full scholarship to the University of Mississippi playing tennis. But I had to quit that because I had a heart operation. So trying to become a professional tennis player, that had to stop. So I got into the coaching side of things. And yeah, basically during coaching, I coached players top 20 in the world. I've been at the Grand Slam level. I've traveled everywhere. I met so many people, but I always, you know, I didn't want to end up spending 11 hours a day under the sun. I'm not obsessed. It's not the right word. It's just that, you know, when you see your family, like what video I watched of Scott, you know, and you see your father constantly working, I'm not saying it's a bad life. I totally respect, he's had 4 children. He's a great guy, but I want a different lifestyle. You know, I really want that time. So, yeah, I have no experience in creating products. I have no experience in patents. Actually, I had no money when I created my company. And do you know what I did? I contacted a university here in Florida, and I spoke to the head attorney, professor, and they used CoolNES as a case study for the class. So they did the trademark, they did everything for me, and that didn't cost me anything. And I'm grateful, like you can't imagine. So I will be taking, you know, sending them a big box of chocolates if one day CoolNES becomes an Adidas or a Nike.
Very cool. I love it. So we have 2 final questions for you then. The first one is, do you have any final thoughts on why you should be the one selected for the $10,000 prize?
I want to be an example to people that are like myself. There's so many people out there that they know what they want, but sometimes they don't have the resources or the mindset. And I just want to explain to them, tell them the story. I mean, it's pretty simple. Like what I've been through is pretty crazy, but it can be done, you know. And it's always important to have somebody that you can look up to and that can guide you. It's very important. If not, you make so many mistakes. And in some sense, Greg, I don't want to again throw you so many flowers, but it's the truth. It's the reality. A person that can watch a video, watch YouTubes and follow step by step, a guy that's not as smart as myself, you know, you break it down a certain way that anybody can do it. But like the end of the video with Scott's dad, what you guys keep saying, go for it, go for it. You keep repeating that. And it's the truth. People always, they just don't step into the you've got to do it. You've got to go for it. I mean, what are you going to lose? $2,000-$3,000. So yeah, I mean, I think it's great what you guys are doing. I think this country is amazing. You could never do this where I'm from. I'm from a small town in south of Spain. You know, everything's possible here, and you just need to go for it.
One last question. After listening to all this, if anyone wants to purchase CoolNES, where is the best place for them to do so?
Amazon.
Search CoolNES on Amazon, CoolNES, and you will find it.
Yes, that's right. And if you're in France, Italy, Germany, wherever you are in the world and there's Amazon, we're there.
All right. And I have to say, it's a cool product. It gets good reviews on Amazon. I like it. This is, you talked about having to bring awareness to this, but this is like a kind of like a little bit more of a trending item, right? Like you see the fishermen with like the wraps, like you talked about, that go around your neck. You mentioned that yours is better because it lets a little more of the heat out, but this is something that I think like more people are wearing and bring awareness, or have awareness about. So before we end the show, Scott, do you have just 1 minute of feedback for David?
Yeah. So, I mean, David, I think, like I said, I commend you on what you've done so far. I mean, you went out there, bought a 50,000 units, and you don't have a choice. You got to go out there and sell them. So I love that. You're hungry and you got a lot of heart. But the only thing I see lacking is focus. And I think you already know that. And I think I would try to figure out that 80-20, and I would double down on those. I don't necessarily think that launching those few extra products is going to give you as much as it would be to maybe reach out to some of those people in your network that might already have an audience on social or whatever, and some of those ones that can endorse you. And then the last thing I would just ask you, and this is just a question, but you don't have to really answer it, but I would just, maybe some food for thought, is like, you have this background in tennis and everything. Have you ever thought about like starting something there of your own following, so you can go out there and potentially reach a whole bunch of people in your audience that then you could lead them over to you? I mean, you have an expertise in tennis. I think I would use that to leverage my networking, but also like your skill set. So I would think about how you can weave that into your brand as well.
Amazing feedback. Thank you so much. And for sure, the reason I'm at the Miami Open right now is because obviously I have a lot of contacts through tennis, and the issue is that all these top athletes have contracts with all these top brands, and that's why the PGA was insane. How this athlete with a Puma contract wore CoolNES. So yeah, for sure, it's going to be interesting. I mean, the dream would be, like we're saying, there's one of these brands license the product out for that specific sport. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, you're right. I've got to focus, and I've got to market each sport and use my contacts, and do a lot of social, what they call the influencers. Yep. I mean, that's why I'm so happy to speak to you guys, because I want to be, I'd love to be part of your team and everything. So yeah, it's awesome. Thank you so much for all the feedback. Really appreciate it.
I kind of agree with Scott that actually my tip for you, at least for the next like 6 months or something, would actually be just to focus on kind of like the face mask, like the original CoolNES, as opposed to trying to launch a bunch more products. It already is like your most popular product on Amazon. You've already identified, it's a little bit of a battle because you have to bring awareness around this, because a lot of people aren't really searching for one of these, although some people might be. But I think it's really nice that you have a patent for it. I think this is like a great product to just try to bring like more awareness around, get more people wearing it. I can see this doing really well with like influencer marketing. I don't necessarily think you should focus on this right now, but I can also see this doing really well with like Facebook ads or Instagram ads, driving traffic to like a landing page. But yeah, I mean, you're off to a great start. You've sold $50,000 worth of these. I can just tell just by like the drive and hustle that you have that like this is going to be successful and you are going to make this work. So appreciate you coming on the show. We appreciate you pitching this product. I love it, and I love what you're working on. So thanks again.
You guys are amazing. You're an inspiration. I'm so happy to be here today chatting with you guys. So thanks.
All right. It was great meeting you. We really enjoyed it. Have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
See you, David.
Thanks for listening to the Go Pitch Win podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us an honest review over on iTunes. Do you have a new business that needs seed money, or a new project that you're ready to get up and going? There's a $10,000 prize for the winning pitch. So what are you waiting for? Get your pitching skills ready and apply over at gopitchwin.com. Join us for the next episode to hear more great business ideas, and of course, find out who will win the grand prize to make their business dreams come true.